All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to start with yet another session of Kaiju number 8. Let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here. Welcome back to yet another reading of Kaiju number 8. We are going to be going through chapters 74 all the way to... Wow, it just went backwards. They just reset the whole thing for me. Thank you, Paige. But we're going to be going through chapter 74 all the way to 81. And this will be covering volume 10 of the series. So just a little bit of a recap of where we left off. We got kaiju attacking all over the city, and Kikoru has assumed the mantle of her mother's number suit, which has the ability to fly and has exponentially not only increased her overall power, but also, with the ability to fly, increased her maneuverability to the point where Itami, the division director general of the Japanese Defense Forces, can see that, wow, it's almost as if Hikare's with us once again. Not only that, but Vice Captain Hoshina has taken number 10, Kaiju number 10, as his new suit, which also has the ability to speak. And they kind of ran into some hurdles where they wanted to do their own thing, but it's also been getting Hoshina in trouble during this fight with other kaiju. So now they've resolved, you know what, I'm just going to let you do your own thing. So let's do this or we die. So now let's see what happens if Hoshina and company, Hoshina and Ten are capable of cooperating. And because if they are, they're going to be a formidable duo. But real quick, I forgot to get my phone because it was on a charger. That way, if I need to glance over at chat, I can. And I got to take care of something real quick. Give me a sec. All right, sorry about that. I had to turn the heat off because it was cold last night, but it's also starting to warm out outside, so I needed to take care of that. Thank you for your patience. Let's begin. Kaiju number 8, chapter 74. And we have Hoshina standing there in front of all of these kaiju. And Okonogi goes,
Unleash combat power rising! It's reached 56%! That's the highest recorded value for numbers weapons 10 yet!
And then Hoshina and Ten just go, first, we attack. And it just shows the bipedal bug kaiju attempting to slash at Hoshina. He dodges, and the next thing we get is him going, head on. First, we attack head on. And in doing so, his body just, it's like he's resonating with the suit now because he just splits this kaiju straight down the middle. Hold up, I'm being called again. All right, I have to go back. I'm probably going to edit this whole jump out, so apologies. But this bug kaiju slashes at Hoshina, and in an instant, he goes, first we attack, head on, and splits this kaiju straight down the middle, which catches the attention of the other kaiju. And then Ten speaks.
Two up next, huh? We'll take the two weaklings on at once and revel in being at a disadvantage.
And he just starts clashing with both of these kaiju at the exact same time. And then Okanogi is just looking bewildered, going, "Ha!" And then Ten just screams out,
"Well, what did I tell you, Hoshina? Even with the odds against us, we can still come out on top. Hit them from the front and dominate! 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 Yes, this is how a fight should be. Now, let me run wild even more. I'll rip the last one to shreds
and then Hoshina sheaths his swords.
What?
You're too late, number 10. The deed's already been done. And it shows all of the other kaiju have just been absolutely destroyed by Hoshina. Their body parts just falling in pieces all around him. I told you, didn't I? Follow me even if it kills you.
Say what? That's supposed to be my luck.
And then Hoshina braces and he starts dashing. Next, we clean up the runway. And Hoshina jumps outside of the hangar. And then one of the people alongside Okanogi goes, unleash combat power climbing further. It's hit 67%. And it shows the power of Hoshina's suit and 10 just increasing. And then Hoshina's in front of a kaiju, and he's dashing towards it, and it appears that he not only slashed off this thing's arms, he slashed off this thing's arms, but proceeds to cut it into pieces. Hoshina-style sword slay technique number 2. Cross slasher! And even 10 can go is going,
you're fast.
Then 2 more kaiju bear down on Hoshina. I'm not dodging this attack. You're gonna fend them off on your own.
You're on!
And seeing the challenge, 10 doesn't get snappy. He just goes,
you're on!
And then we get the dude next to Okanogi going, Vice Cap! And while Hoshina is standing there, 10 causes his tail to whip around Hoshina and break the arms of the kaiju while Hoshina's just chilling.
He shattered them!
How's that for you?
And then Hoshina goes, you failed. Look at all these shards hitting me. And mind you, it's just like small shards in his hair. And then Okanogi is just,
don't taunt it! If you make it mad, then you'll lose the sync!
And then it shows the combat, it shows number 10 just twitching. And then the dude next to Okanogi, the dude with apparently no eyebrows, we're gonna call him Eyebrowless. We got Eyebrowless here going, unleash combat power! Rising? It's reached 70%!
How?
And Okanogi cannot understand. And then we have 10 screaming,
don't trifle with me! The reason there are shards is because you're not drawing out my power to the fullest!
Excuse me? I'm at over 60% output and you still can't totally shut out these wimpy attacks. Talk about being a letdown.
Say what?
Pardon me.
Say what? Let's go after the next batch. I'll show you this time for sure.
They're bickering, but the percentage keeps going up. None of this makes any sense anymore.
The dark one in the back is their boss. We'll cut straight through. Show me you can fend off all their attacks.
You're on.
Can't say I'm a fan of this. Can't say I'm a fan of this boneheaded way of fighting. It just ain't my style.
Spare me.
And Hoshina crouches down, looking even more like a monster. And he charges straight towards the kaiju. Unleash combat power level update, now at 77%! Hoshina style sword slay technique number 1. Air slicer! And before Hoshina can even get to a kaiju, he slashes in its general direction, and its whole torso gets separated from its legs. Behind us, they're coming.
You can save your heads up! I see them just fine!
And Hoshina is standing there, and then he leaps over. Oh, not only that, but Ten defends Hoshina from behind by blocking this attack from one of these kaiju, one of the light-colored insect kaiju with its tail. Number 3, Return Slasher. And he slices straight through a kaiju. And when he lands, the tail of 10 goes in and basically stabs into the neck of one of the other kaijus again.
Perfectly executed that time! Give me props!
That was just one time. I told you not to let any of their attacks through. And while Hoshina is just casually walking, 10 is going ham, and he's slashing his tail around, defending the attacks from all of the other kaiju while Hoshina is just casually walking. Sure feels strange to have someone making a way through for me for once. And he then proceeds to dislocate a kaiju's torso from its legs again. Let's finish this. Number 6.
He's using that!
And Hoshina's suit starts to bulk up. It starts to increase in power. You see veins popping up over it, and even 10 is all like,
what is this? It feels like my muscles are about to burst from all the power surging through my body. Yeah. I knew I was right. I like fighting with you.
And then Hoshina we just see Hoshina right behind the dark colored kaiju. I knew there was something laying on my eye. Hoshina is just behind the dark colored kaiju. Hateful Slasher. And there's 8 lines going across all over this kaiju as its body has been sliced to pieces. And that's the end of chapter 74. Onwards to chapter 75. Kaiju number 8, chapter 75. And it shows the dark ant kaiju falling behind Hoshina in pieces.
Runway is secured. All that's left is the terminal.
Near Chofu Airport Terminal. Kaiju readings inside airport. Fading. The vice captain's work, huh? Screw the kaiju that man is. Screw the kaiju that man is. The true monster. As it shows Hoshina standing there, just how you say, aura farming. Right next to the darker ant kaiju's body. Now, let's hunt up the kaiju on the outside.
The officers ought to be next. Let's wipe out the officers, Hoshina.
Are you a dope? Why would we wipe out the officers?
I'm tired of kaiju. I want to fight something else.
What are you, a kid? We need to take care of the horde outside. Let's go. Hey, don't stick the tail in the ground. And it shows Hoshina just struggling to reach some common ground with number 10 because 10 doesn't want to fight kaiju anymore. He wants to fight humans now.
They can barely keep it together. There's a reason.
There's a reason why the First Division operators dubbed it the comedy duo suit.
Still, with an unleashed combat power of 77%, the vice captain is already reaching numbers that rival his full release when wearing a normal suit. If he can unleash over 90% of his combat power, the potential boost to his abilities could be unimaginable.
Report from the 3rd Division. Vice Captain Hoshina has cleared the Chofu Airport. Say what? You're still not done over there? Tch, I can picture a old bow-cut smug face now. And it's cutting to Narumi. Then we get Eiji. That just leaves the area around Orizumi. Which squads are in charge? A company led by Shinonome's platoon, and another led by Tachibana's platoon, sir. Because the evacuation of citizens has been delayed due to traffic congestion, we had to assist personnel to escort out evacuees, thus limiting the number of areas covered for combat. And to make matters worse, the emergence of 6 supergiant class kaiju, and there's 6. There are 6 supergiant class kaiju just walking through the city. The emergence of 6 supergiant class kaiju has made combat conditions even more unfavorable. And then we have Shinonome.
There's too many of them. We'd have enough trouble taking down just one of these things.
Indeed, we've never encountered 6 kaiju of that size in the same area before. This is unheard of. And then someone's going, Platoon Leader Shinonome, please put me on the front line. I've never fought kaiju that big before, but I'll make it work. Oh, it's Kafka. It's Kafka. I've never fought kaiju that big before, but I'll make it work.
I can't authorize that. Continue rearguard duties. We need you at the ready when it comes time to engage number 9. It'd be foolish to play our trump card now. Back in Shinagawa, number 9 emerged because it sensed your partial transformation. If you transform, then we run the risk of it learning your location. We're limiting your deployment to the most important phase, when we neutralize number 9's main body.
But then, how are we going to... And then the supergiant kaiju starts twitching, and then its torso starts increasing in size. Supergiant class kaiju changing form, internal temperature rising, and then it opens its mouth. Wow, so these things had fat bodies, and then it expands it, and then all that energy builds up in its stomach. It expels it, and it shoots it out into a blast that blows up a portion of the city in the distance.
How do we overcome this situation?
And then someone goes,
I'll handle this. Stand by for artillery fire. Bearing west by southwest.
That voice. Mina?
But she should be in Tachikawa right now.
And before Shinonome can say anything, the kaiju behind her's body just completely explodes, as if shot by something. And this shocks Shinonome, Mina, and everyone else. And even Shinonome's all like,
what? She's hitting them? From Tachikawa? But that's 20 kilometers away.
And it zooms all the way outside of this city, and she's shooting from an entirely different city. What? She's shooting from an entirely different city. She's shooting from a whole different city? And it zooms into another building, and we get this absolutely ginormous gun. This ginormous gun. New weapon, Mina Ashido dedicated. New weapon, Mina Ashido dedicated anti-giant class kaiju railgun.
Kuranos. Load next round.
Next round loaded. Now calculating. Cannon body erosion. Stage 1. Unleash combat power stable at 94%. She is using a giant railgun. I thought her using that big old cannon she was carrying around was big.
Fire.
And she fires, the shockwave is massive, and we see another shot tear through another one of those giant class kaiju, just completely obliterating the body. You even see one of the ribs fly out from one of the sides. And two of these supergiants just get taken out. Captain Ashido has taken out 2 supergiants. And Shina Nome can't do anything. She's just awestruck.
This is the might of the captain of the 3rd Division, Mina Ashido.
Literally everyone from Narumi's team are just absolutely dumbfounded to see her shooting these giant kaiju from a completely different city, from across 20 kilometers. And then we get Kafka. The Defense Force's strongest super giant class kaiju killer.
Load next round.
And Mina's just chilling. She's just chilling. And that's the end of chapter 75. Onwards to chapter 76. This is the might of Mina Ashido. Chapter 76. And Shinonome's looking bewildered. Narumi looks bothered, like he's holding his ear, because apparently the shot is very loud. The Defense Force's strongest super giant class kaiju killer. And then we see the kaiju get destroyed again. Then we get the one dude that was there. One dude next to Itami going, she's superb. Against giants, she's stronger than Narumi. Larger kaiju weapons require greater quantity and variety of kaiju tissues. Unless you draw out all of its power at a high enough level, the weapon will not only lose range and force, it also won't be able to pierce a kaiju shield. And the only one with that level of capability in all of Japan, no, in the entire world, is her. So Mina is the perfect person to man this super giant class kaiju railgun. In fact, if we had her giant class disposal abilities back during the number 6 cataclysm, we likely could have mitigated damage to under a third of what we incurred. 1 target remaining. Cannon body erosion at stage 2. 1 shot remaining until unit replacement.
Not an issue. Load next round. I will take it down.
And then it gets Shinonome going,
Shinonome platoon, Tachibana platoon, Makijima platoon.
Makijima.
Makijima platoon. On Captain Ashido's next shot, we rush the supergiant's emergence area.
Prioritize securing civilians. Don't waste this chance.
And then Mina prepares to fire again.
Next round loaded. Now calculating. T-minus 3, 2, 1. Fire!
And Mina fires, and we just see, I really like how they showed that the shot is so forceful that you get like reverberating shockwave lines around the gun itself, as if the screen itself is shaking from the force. We see the shockwave. And we see the shot get closer and closer and closer to the kaiju, and the kaiju's looking, and then it hits the kaiju in the chest. It looks down at its body, and then its entire upper torso just completely explodes and ruptures.
Captain Ashido has destroyed all targets. Move in! We're clearing the area.
And that's Shinonome. And they all rush. And then we get Kafka going,
Heck yeah! How do you like them apples, Kaiju? That's what the vice captain of the Kafka Corps, Mina Ashido, is made of!
And then Mina's looking, and then Shinonome goes,
Kafka Corps?
Oh crap! I still have my radio on!
Quit goofing around and protect the civilians we guided to the point I just sent you.
Roger! And then he starts running. And then we got Kurusu and other people looking at the map of the other kaiju. Because remember, there's this Gigantic emergence of kaiju all over Japan. All over Japan. Alpha Zone and Delta Zone reported clear. Conditions are improving in the Oizumi area, zone by zone. More reports coming in of areas being cleared from all over Tokyo. We might be able to get everything under control at this rate. But then it shows the faces of Kikoru, Narumi, and Hoshina, but it cuts to Kikoru and Narumi as they go,
No.
not yet. And then Kikoru goes,
There's no way that a cataclysm caused by number 9 would come to such a middling end.
Also, it's odd. Are these kaiju really targeting humanity's essential facilities? If they are, they don't seem to be putting any stock into destroying anything. Yeah, they're definitely after something else. And it cuts to number 9, who's standing on top of a building, watching all of this happen, as he goes,
Number 8 not showing up is surprising. But...
And it looks like he's holding something in its hand. It looks like it's holding something in its hands.
Now nearly all the pieces are on the board.
Oh, that's a chess piece. It's holding a chess piece.
Number 8 not showing up is surprising, but now nearly all the pieces are on the board.
And then some soldiers are noticing water starting to pool up around their legs. Water? Why is it suddenly? And then water just starts to flood in. No. Now water starts to flood in. Actually, yeah. Water starts to flood in from the sewers, and they start knocking off manhole covers. What? And then we get Kurusu going, Daikaiju reading in Sumida Ward. And Nanami notices as he goes, making its move, as it shows that very same kaiju that was eating all the fish has come up out of the ground directly in front of Narumi. Estimated fortitude 9.0! That's on par with number 10! They're after me, I see. And then Kikoru goes,
Hey, Master Moron. There's one here too.
And it's Kikoru face to face with that brain kaiju that can make itself look like other people, but with black eyes, black hair, and I guess black teeth. Why is stuff trying to get in my eye while I'm trying to read?
Hey, Master Moron. There's one here too.
And, the brain kaiju standing in front of her. Reporting in. Got one here too. And there's a new tailed kaiju in front of Hoshina after apparently landing on top of a plane. Daikaiju readings detected in Tachikawa and Oizumi. It can't be. All the kaiju are over fortitude 9.0. Their identified kaiju class. Oh, wow. We got brand new kaiju numbers. Kaiju number 11, kaiju number 11 is the fish shark looking one. Kaiju number 12 is the one that just landed in front of Hoshina. Kaiju number 13 is one that's in front of some soldiers as it's apparently toppled. Kaiju number 13 is the one that was running to outpace cars. And then kaiju number 14 is the one that has it's like the weird block obelisk that has the multiple faces around it.
Kikoru Shinomiya. Mitsuketa. I found you.
And kaiju number 15 is the brain kaiju the brain kaiju with like the brain wrinkles around its head with the circle in front of its face. Episode 8, The Second Wave. And that's the end of chapter 76. Onwards to chapter 77. Woo! Sorry, illustration chapter. Chapter 77. All 5 of the newly emerged threats are confirmed to exceed identified kaiju class. As of this moment, we're designating the kaiju in question with ID numbers. Kaiju number 11, kaiju number 12, kaiju number 13, kaiju number 14, and kaiju number 15. And then Okanogi goes,
Impossible! 5 identified kaiju at the same time? That's well beyond what the Eastern Division can handle on its own.
but then Kikoru twitches as the brain kaiju starts to the hole in its face starts to light up.
All officers, take evasive action immediately!
And while she's looking back trying to warn everyone, something shoots out of, like a small beam, like a small line shoots out of the face of the brain of number 15. Number 15. And she looks back as Kikoru can only watch. Whoa! It's not even a beam that comes out. You just see like a whoosh, and then all of a sudden, everything in front of these soldiers, Kikoru managed to dodge out of the way, but everything in the wake of these soldiers leading up to them is just nothing but just an invisible shockwave that kills every soldier in its path. It's like an air cannon. It just shoots, and all we see is just what's left of the arm, what's left of the gun, what's left of the legs. There's nothing else. And then the shot this invisible shot impacts the wall of a building and then proceeds to blow through the building and take out a whole bunch of other buildings in its wake as well. And Kikoru can only watch. We've lost 6 officers' vitals! And that's when everyone realizes, oh no, this is bad. Narume, Mina, Hoshina, members of Narume's squad, including Shinonome.
Just as I figured. I knew you'd dodge that tiny blast, little Kikoru.
And number 15 makes its face look just like Kikoru's, except, with black eyes.
So that's their plan.
Hoshina, the 1st Division's main squadron Oizumi, my dumb disciple, Ashido, Tachikawa, me, their goal isn't to destroy essential facilities. It's to separate and eliminate our main forces. The whole plan was to separate them, to keep... It was to separate all of the officers so that they wouldn't join up. So that way that these identified kaiju can pick off these officers one by one with their power. I didn't notice that my camera was auto-adjusting. I just looked over for a quick second there. Hold on. Let me fix that. There we go. Their goal isn't to destroy essential facilities. It's to separate and eliminate our main forces. It can't be! And then Itami is thinking, the situation is even worse than I had feared. Identified class threats are primarily handled by several officers with captain-grade strength. These are not the type of kaiju that can be dealt with solo. This is clearly far too great a risk for a first-year rookie. Even if we were to send Hasagawa for backup, HQ doesn't have any surplus troops to deploy in their stead. What should our next move be? Are you listening, my dumb disciple? I'm sure you've already caught on, but I can't send you backup. You need to beat that thing by yourself. And then Kikoru's eyes kind of widen from the prospect. And then Kikoru is standing there, battle axe in arm, while she's in front of number 15.
I've always been bailed out of trouble when I needed it most. Time And time again, someone else has always taken down the truly powerful threats.
Meaning, Kafka, Mina, and Hoshina.
Never me. Master Moron. That was my plan from the start. Full release. Unleashed combat power. 84%.
And then ooh, I like this shot. It shows Kikoru essentially unleashing her combat power, holding her axe directly next to her, but also exploding with power as well. Hold on, let me check. Let me just double check something. Nope, we're good. We're good.
Full release. Unleashed combat power. 84%.
84%? Click the button. So, she's come that far. Let's do this. The real fight starts now. Target, Kaiju number 11. Number 12. Number 13.
Number 14. Number 15. Commencing neutralization.
So, just to go through it, Naomi is going to be taking on 11. Hoshina is going to be taking on 12. Shinonome, and Tachibana are going to be taking on 13. Mina is going to be taking on 14. And Kikoru is going to be taking on 15.
Commencing neutralization.
As she stands there in front of this reverse-colored Kikoru Kaiju. And that's the end of chapter 77. Onwards to 78. We're making good time. Kaiju number 8, chapter 78. I feel like the 8th chapters of Kaiju number 8 are always really solid chapters. Can I just say that? Kaiju number 15.
I found you.
It doesn't just know Officer Shinomiya. It heavily resembles her too. What in the world is going on? Kasumi ga Seki era. Kasumi ga Seki area. Come in! As of this moment, command of the Kasumi ga Seki area has been shifted to Officer Shinomiya, now organizing Special Unit Type 2.
Set danger zone status to a 500-meter perimeter. Surrounding platoons, wrangle and eliminate all Yoju. Be sure not to approach the danger zone.
And then they all acknowledge, and then Kikoru grips onto her axe.
Captain Ashido, Master Moron, and Kafka Hibino aren't here. I have to succeed no matter what. Commencing neutralization of Kaiju number 15.
And then number 15 floats down towards Kikoru going,
Ooh, I like that. Commencing neutralization of little Kikoru Shinomiya.
and then she just vanishes from sight. She just vanishes from where she is. And then Kikoru is all like, huh? Before narrowly dodging a kick from 15, which apparently has such strength, it destroys just the mere wave of her leg is enough for it to destroy the building behind Kikoru. You know how Doflamingo says, like, this isn't how you slice someone's heads off. That's not how you slice someone's heads off. This is how. And he proceeds to kick so hard, he basically destroyed the entire upper palace of King Riku of Dressrosa just with a mere kick. That's the power of number 15. Shocking both Kikoru and Kurusu.
Wow, you dodged that. I'm slightly impressed. I can't let it overpower me. I have to attack.
And it cuts to Kikoru. Bearing her axe, trying to stop her. And the kaiju lifts its leg up and just straight up blocks her blade with the leg. And the shockwave from them both blocking each other causes the ground underneath to not only crack, but also send any car that's around him to just straight up go flying.
Attack. Number 2. Number 1. Number 4. Number 3. Number 5.
And before she can say number 5, because she's using all these different attack techniques, but before she can use number 5, a kick comes in and she barely dodges that, because the kick grazes her cheek and leaves a cut across it.
I'm scared. A single mistake could be fatal, but I have to bear it and press on.
And she just continues to clash with number 15, who's just blocking all of these strikes with her leg. And then Kurusu goes, incredible! Speed, strength, efficiency, all of her metrics are exceeding Captain Class averages! Then Itami... Then we have Itami going, she is the strongest first-year officer in recorded history. She has the acumen to surpass Isao, Hikari, or even Narumi. Yes, I have no doubt, sir. I'm certain that in the near future, she'll be the very core of the defense force. But, despite all that, and it shows this kaiju that looks like Kikoru, number 15. I gotta resort to using their identification numbers. Number 15's leg goes up as Kikoru looks back at it, and then it brings down its leg directly on Kikoru. And the shock from it almost breaks the several city blocks that they're on. And then while that's happening, while Kikoru is defending herself from this, while she's defending herself from this kick, the kaiju changes its face. 15 changes its face to that killed all those soldiers, and it prepares that shockwave. And then Kikoru, using boosters on her suit, moves out of the way just in time before the blast completely destroys the ground that they're on. But while she's already airborne, the kaiju 15 is already on her heels. It's like not losing a step with her. It's chasing after her immediately.
Shield, full release!
And before she can say anything, Kikoru has to brace as the kaiju sends her flying straight into a building with such force that blood shoots out of her mouth and her shield just completely gives way despite coming up. The force of the blow overpowered her shields. She's getting trounced! Shields breached! Ribs and right lung damaged! And it shows the aftermath of Kikoru in the building with rubble falling around her, looking beaten and bloodied. And she grips onto her axe again.
It's useless, little Kikoru.
And then 15's arm starts to change. It turns into like this weird amalgamation as it starts attaching to things. Because remember, it did this to all these people around it and killed them.
Even with that little axe of yours, you'll never put a scratch on me.
And this kaiju has apparently gripped and grabbed every piece of rubble from their fight and made it into its own giant axe. So it's not only insulting Kikoru by looking like her, but it's also making fun of her weapon choice by creating an axe that's bigger than her in front of her. And then Itami is looking and Kurusu is watching going, she can't win this. And that's the end of chapter 78. Onwards to chapter 79. We're almost done, ladies and germs. Kaiju number 8, chapter 79. And 15 has this giant rubble axe above her. She can't win this. And she sends these pieces of rubble at Kikoru. This 15 sends these pieces of rubble at Kikoru. Now, when that happens, Kikoru holds up her axe And then all of a sudden, she manages... I don't know why I am yawning. I'm not sleepy. Her suit activates, and it blasts the rubble in front of her. No, it's not that she blasts the rubble. She just uses the suit's boosters on her arms to literally move out of the way. She dodged it! The fastest numbers weapon lives up to its reputation.
Too slow, little Kikoru.
And then it shows that number 15, despite Kikoru moving out of the way, it's literally in front of her, holding on to her face. Then its face opens up as Kikoru, all she can do is just literally put her hand up in front of her face as 15 blasts her point blank. Right arm circuits damage. Run a bypass to connect them. The next attack is coming. I have to support her. And this is Kurusu. I couldn't save Director General Shinomiya. I'll be darned if I let his daughter die too. And it shows Kikoru, who's just doing nothing but being able to try and safeguard herself, as 15 just pummels her with blows after blow. Right leg and left flank armor damaged. Fractures to ribs and arms. Hemorrhaging is spreading. Emergency treatment via the suit isn't sufficing. Darn it. We can't keep up. It's breaching numbers weapons 4 shield at max level like it's nothing. It's no good. Director General, at this rate, Officer Shinomiya is going to... We can't afford to lose our future linchpin here. We have no other option. Lower headquarters defense level by 2 degrees and send reinforcement... And before Itami can finish, we hear someone go,
Wait! Please!
No, it's her. It's Kikoru.
Wait! Please! Number 9. Wouldn't hesitate to capitalize on a crack in our defenses. I'll beat this thing.
But Officer Shinomiya!
I'm so close.
Close to what? And it shows that her combat power level has reached 88%. Huh? 88%?
Just a little further. And I'll be able to catch up.
And Shinomiya stands up. Kikoru stands up with what's left of her axe. No, she stands up. Oh, No, that's not even Kikoru. We have the... Is that the ghost of Hikari standing in front of Kikoru? Catch up. No, don't tell me. She's seeing Hikari's ghost. And then it cuts back in time as we go back in time as Narumi's playing on his Switch. Literally a Switch. He's literally playing on a Switch. I can't wait for the Switch too, Donkey Kong! But Narumi's playing on a Switch going, a vision of your mother.
Yes, I can sometimes see my mother while equipped with numbers weapon 4.
A ghost. It's a rare phenomenon that happens when you wear a predecessor's numbers weapon. Captain Captain Akutsu of the Northern Division reported about it in the past. The reason behind it is still being explored, but it's understood to be the memory of the identified kaiju being used in the core.
The memories of Mommy that number 4 holds. I've seen her run off so many times, but I haven't been able to catch up to her once so far. She always delivers swifter and more accurate and powerful blows than I could ever muster.
And we're still back here. We're still back in time as Kikoru is sparring against Narumi. And while she's fighting, she also apparently sees Kaiju number 4 in these memories. And it's just, and this Kaiju is staring down at Kikoru.
That look on its face is saying he could have done a better job with Mommy instead. The gap between us is so small, I can almost touch her with my fingertips.
And then it cuts to Kaiju 15 attempting to punch Kikoru. And while she dodges, she doesn't dodge as far as her mother. And it shows the shadow of her mother in her movements, but her mother is dodging better than what Kikoru is currently doing. But all of a sudden, on number 15's face, Hikaru draws blood after slashing it across its cheek.
Don't let one little fluke go to your head!
And while Kaiju 15 tries to hit Kikoru dodges easily out of the way, much to the surprise of number 15. Then Kikoru stares at it.
I'll surpass her, and it won't be someday. It'll be right here, right now!
As it shows Kikoru moving just like her mother, Hikari. I love this chapter. My goodness, I love this chapter. And that's the end of chapter 79. That's the end of chapter 79. Onwards to 80, and then one more after that, and then we're done with volume 10.
I've been chasing after Mommy's greatness ever since I was a little girl. I'll surpass her, and it won't be someday. It'll be right here, right now!
Chapter 80 of Kaiju number 8. And then Kikoru manages to catch number 15 off guard, lopping off one of its arms. It hit!
What? What happened to her?
And it shows Kikoru evenly clashing with Kaiju number 15. Unleash combat power! 91%! 92%! 93%! Shh. And even Itami can't help but notice how well Kikoru is doing right now.
Shh. She's neck and neck with Hikari's combat power.
Kurusu. A moment ago, we said that this girl is the greatest talent we've ever had. A moment ago, we said that this girl is the greatest talent we've ever had. Well, I'm afraid even that may have been a gross understatement. And even Kurusu is starting to smile because he realized, like, yeah, she's no longer just like some regular, she's surpassing our expectations. That's what Isao would say, right? She's surpassing expectations. Go! Overtakes your mother, our most powerful fighter, and surpass her in strength. And we cut back to Kikoru as she prepares
Squadron Style Axe Technique number 5. Twin Swallows!
And she proceeds to cut down number 15 in one fell swoop. One, decapitating it, and then separating its torso from its legs. Literally, its head is separate, its torso and arms are separate, and its legs are separate, slicing it into 3 different pieces. Before 15 could even respond. Unleash combat power, and it shows the unleashed combat power is at 94%.
I've exposed the core, now to get rid of it. Number 6!
But then it shows the head of number 15 flying through the air, and it turns towards Kikoru, and it's smiling.
Why is it smiling like that?
And then there's a... as it shows that something has stabbed into Kikoru from the back.
My, how hard you try, little Kikoru.
As it shows, Kikoru is now surrounded by this ginormous web network created from the body of Kaiju 15. Mind you, this is the same thing that had absolutely no problem piercing through humans and killing them instantly, because it shows that one of these, and you know what? I like how it's showcasing that these things are incredibly dense and powerful, that it shows it going straight through a metal panel as if it's nothing. Therefore, reinforcing that it did indeed kill all of those civilians when it first showed up floating around the city, and it was in the midst of people. It really did kill all of those people with this webbed network of I don't even know how to describe this. This looks like a skill tree from Path of Exiles. What is this? But then it shows the face of Kaiju number 15 as it goes from looking like an inverted version of Kikoru into its own regular hollow-faced brain state.
I'm connected.
And then Kikoru is in a void. And then the computers at headquarters just start beeping all over. What is it? What's going on?
What is this?
There's wild fluctuations in her mental graph. Officer Shinomiya's radio is inaccessible. Unleashed combat power dropping. Interference with number 4 neural sync detected. Officer Shinomiya! Come in! Officer Shinomiya! Could this be a psychogenic attack? And it cuts to Kikoru, whose head is apparently hurting right now because 15 is affecting her.
What is going on? You're so good, little Kikoru. Number 15, where are you? Why do you try so hard?
And then it keeps driving more and more mental pain into Kikoru.
What is this? Why do you want to be strong so badly? To protect this country from kaiju like you. Liar! Why do you want to protect the country? To protect the lives of those I care about. Liar! Then tell me, why do you want to protect the lives of those you care about? That's obviously because... Huh? Why am I... See? Be honest with yourself.
And it shows Kikoru falling to the ground because this is such incredible mental pain happening to her.
Be honest with yourself.
And then 15 snaps its fingers, and now it's black. And then it cuts to Shinomiya, where it cuts to Kikoru when she's a child.
You know yourself, don't you, little Kikoru? Why do you want to be strong so badly? I wanted to be strong.
And then it shows Hikari and Kikoru. Then it shows Isao and Kikoru showing a genuine smile for his daughter.
To earn their praise. Both daddies and mommies. I wanted them to praise me more.
And it shows Kikoru as a child crying while in this state.
Uh-huh. You've done such a good job. What a good girl you are, little Kikoru. You don't have to try so hard. Why don't you just give up? After all.
And then 15 points its finger towards her parents.
Try as you might.
It shows her parents immediately being destroyed in front of her eyes. Because child Kikoru in this state is running towards her parents, tears in her eyes, happy to see her family. But then she just sees her family literally get dusted in front of her.
Your mommy and daddy are long gone, along with any hope you ever had of ever earning their praise again.
And then child Kikoru is just seen horrified and crying her eyes out. And that's how we end chapter 80? That's how we end chapter 80? Let me double check. I'm gonna double check and make sure that 81 is the last chapter. Yeah, it is. 80. Okay. moving on to 81, last chapter of Volume 10.
Your mommy and daddy are long gone, along with any hope you had of ever earning their praise again.
And then we just once again see her family be dusted in front of her eyes. And then the look on Kikuru's face is just filled with despair. And then child Kikuru just screams. That's about as best a scream that I can do at this current time. Officer Shinomiya! Officer Shinomiya, come in! Mind you, Kikuru is still standing there in real time. Darn it! Test to see if we can somehow access her neural circuits from the outside! This is what an identified kaiju is capable of. The greatest talent in human history awakened to her powers, and it still isn't enough! And it just shows Kikuru standing there. While number 15's head is floating around as it's still trying to affect Kikuru. Then we get back to Director General Itami. Her psyche. It hit Shinomiya precisely in her most underdeveloped area. Actually, it almost seems too precise, doesn't it? Don't tell me all of them. All other areas, report your status. This is Taito Ward. Captain Narumi is currently engaged in combat with number 11. Captain Narumi has the upper hand. Neutralization should be just a matter of time. Pardon me. It shows Narumi's leg suddenly gets caught up with water. And while he's distracted looking at his leg, he gets blindsided by number 11, who has somehow managed to enlarge its arm to enormous size, and thus proceeds to send Narumi flying with one punch. Captain Narumi! Impossible. Not even number 9 was able to land a clean hit on the captain, but this kaiju just nailed him. And then 11 speaks. I know. You read my movements based on the electrical signals in my body. But you can't read the water's movements. As this thing moves its finger and causes water droplets to just appear to float in the air around it. And then it sends, okay, Kisame Hoshigaki. He just sends all these water bullets and just sends them straight towards the Narumi. And then all of a sudden, Narumi's intercom goes out where they can't hear him anymore. It's as I feared. This is the 3rd Division, Chofu area.
We're up against the wall as well.
As it shows that same kaiju number 12 going up against Vice Captain Hoshina. And while he's defending himself, it proceeds to swipe in the direction of Hoshina. Just twice, it takes both its arms and slices in the direction of Hoshina. Now, while Hoshina is reeling from this attack, the slashes travel behind him and completely destroy everything in its path. From helicopters to airplanes, it tears the entire runway up with just merely slashing in his direction. This is really pissing me off. I never thought that I, of all people, would be the one losing in a clash of blades. Because this kaiju has blades for arms. These kaiju were specifically sent to each member. All of these kaiju are here to plague on the weaknesses of every other officer. Kikoru has one that can play on her psyche. Narumi has one that can allow it to use water to get around his ability to read vital movements. Read vital not vital movements, but what is the name? His electrical signals in its body. Why did that take so long? we have a kaiju that's going up against Nanami that has a way of counteracting his ability to read electrical signals in a kaiju's body. And now we have Vice Captain Hoshina against another kaiju that specializes in blades. Because it also shows that Hoshina got slashed in both of his shoulders from them clashing. I never thought that I, of all people, would be the one losing in a clash of blades.
A kaiju that specializes in extreme close quarters combat. Not unlike Vice Captain Hoshina, it excels at killing a single target in a direct confrontation. It's almost as if it was specifically created to go up against the Vice Captain.
And then, they're confirming what I thought. And then Itami comes up with the same conclusion. That's right, Okonogi. Animals, insects, pathogenic bacteria, viruses, kaiju. Through intensive research, why did I say thorough? Through intensive research, humanity has employed measures against any entities that could pose a threat to our survival. But right now, for the first time in history, as it shows the face of number 9 as if it's peering all over humanity, we're the ones on the receiving end. These kaiju. And then it cuts to Shinonome. As everyone in her platoon is dead. And she's standing there looking at kaiju number 13, holding Tachibana by the throat. I think it's breaking his neck. As Itami finishes going, "These kaiju are designed to exterminate the defense force." All of these Daikaiju, from numbers 11 through 15, were all created to target every powerful member of the defense force. And mind you, Shinonome is left on the ground holding her minigun, and the same kaiju that had fun was trying to outrun cars. It's holding Tachibana by the throat, choking him to death. Everyone else around Shinonome is dead. And that is the end of chapter 81. Ladies and gentlemen, the kaiju have begun their retaliation against the Japanese Defense Force, and they came to the party ready. This is bad. So we got number 15 against Kikoru, but it's a psychological kaiju that's plaguing her mind, ruining her focus, ruining her neural sync, and causing her combat power to drop. And she's plaguing her mind with thoughts of inadequacies and not being able to get the praise from her mother and father. Now we have another kaiju, basically the water-style kaiju, as it's going up against Narumi, having means to combat his ability to read the electrical signals within a kaiju's body. And now we have a kaiju number 13 or 14, going up against Shinonome's entire group, and it now looks like it's basically snapping this dude's neck. All of these kaiju were tailor-made to fight every strong member of the defense force. No, it's not 14, it's 13. Because 14 is going to be under Mina's care. Mina's going to be taking care of that one. Now we're in a situation where the defense force are the bacteria that's being targeted, and the kaiju are the antibodies. It's just like Itami said. Animals, insects, pathogenic bacteria, viruses, kaiju. Through intensive research, humanity has employed measures against any entities that could pose a threat to our survival. Now, the kaiju have created natural defenses, have employed measures against entities that could pose a threat to their survival. being these kaiju that can basically exterminate all powerful members of the Japanese Defense Force. Because without these members like Narumi, Kikoru, Mina, Shinonome, all these different people, you take them out, that is a gigantic portion of power lost to Japan that can defend against kaiju. Mind you, Kafka hasn't been seen in a hot minute, but I have a feeling he's going to show up soon. But let me go ahead and bring this to a close here, because I got some more Kazan to play in a little while. I have to say that I really liked this entire chapter. I really did. It was fun. It was absolutely amazing. All I can say to you, to everyone who tuned in today, whether you're here watching live or if you're watching here later, hope you all enjoyed. Oh, well, actually, firstly, I'm really looking forward to next week's reading, because I am also getting close to catching up to the individual volumes, and then I'll just have chapters left. There's only like 124 or 125, maybe 126 chapters. Let me check. There's currently 124 chapters of Kaiju number 8, and I'm already in the 80s. So the next volume will be volume 11, then after that is volume 12, and then after that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I keep going, I should be done. And fully caught up in May. And then Kaiju number 8 will move to Thursdays. Yeah, I should be caught up by the middle of May, if my count was actually right. If it wasn't, then it's probably going to be June. It's probably going to be in the beginning of June or in the last Monday of May. But I'll have to get all that together. But yeah, I'm droning on. Sorry about that. Wow, I got this done in under an hour, but that was not the case. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been today's reading of Volume 10 of Kaiju number 8. I'll see you guys on next Monday, for Volume 11. All I can say to you, officially this time, is hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And because I am always looking forward to entertaining you, and because I know you're coming back anyway. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!